last time on Aderna.
It's been a long time since you had the nightmare, and you hear the clashing of steel. You feel your heart pull you fiercely in that direction, and there seems to be a cluster of wilderfolk being led by who you can only assume is their chieftain, fighting against these angels, and they're currently locked in battle.
I'll rush in with my shield. I'll take a side hit with my pick, and then when he's like kind of clambering back as I hit my shield, I just go in and like right down vertical, right down on his head, through the helmet, and then I'll just rip back and I'll just stand and I'll look at the other angels and I'll just be like, bloody heathens. Black camp, and I'll like point to the direction. Leave the forest, like avoid the forest. Black camp is over here. Like you need to go to Black camp.
There is a dark lord there, a lord of dark ones.
Okay.
By voices that you can hear quite close to your camp, to your tent, and your I say tent, your hut. It's built of foliage and that sort of thing, so it's generally quite well hidden. People don't tend to notice it unless they're looking for it. But there are voices very, very close, and you find yourself waking up just as you sort of hear little bits and pieces of conversation. And
what language is it in?
Common.
Common.
And you just hear the captain was killed, and you hear it was wild folk, and you hear like sort of bits and pieces along those sort of lines, and then we need to get back to the others, and so it's up to you what you want to do with that. But yeah, it does wake you up, and it is close.
Okay. So it's obviously angels. I don't think I want to go into combat because I'm by myself. And I didn't do too well in that last battle. All I did was get someone surprised, and every other time I got stabbed. So, can I wait for them to pass? Or are they kind of set on hanging about my place?
Make a stealth check if you want.
Fuck. What have I got to do for that?
Dexterity.
Oh, Jesus. Put the 20, yeah. 18. Take away 1. So 17.
Okay.
It's alright.
Okay. You can still hear them sort of milling about. And they walk pretty close to the tent. And you actually can hear their footsteps as they walk past and away into the woods again. And you can see the light of like a torch that one of them was kind of. Do you return to sleep or?
Nah. Is my lay on hands back? Okay.
It's now about the middle of the night, so if you wanted to return to sleep, you could finish your long rest.
Nah, too close. They'll find me. What I'm going to do is, they've passed, so I make my way to the black ones.
Okay. So you.
I've got everything. I've got all my.
Got your pack and stuff, and you take some time to sort of quietly. I'm going to ask you to make another stealth check as you gather things together.
Ho, 19, so 18.
Okay, fine. Aware that they're close by, you sort of slowly and quietly sort of put things on. You take your chain and put that on. You wrap your cloth sort of items and things like that under your chain shirt so that it doesn't jingle as much, and put a cloth around your great sword and things so it doesn't shine through in torchlight or anything like that. So think about it quite a lot, and you're ready to go. You vaguely remember the direction that he pointed in, but you've never heard of what you think the black camp might be or anything like that. So you head off in that vague direction. I'm going to ask you to make an investigation check.
Okay. Still a D20? Mm-hmm. Any modifiers?
Investigation is.
Investigation
is here. I think it's
no, it's intelligence.
Intelligence, sorry, it's intelligence.
Okay. So Yeah.
I roll a 5. -1. So a 4.
Yeah. So you very quickly find yourself unsure if you're heading in the right direction, and you can see just every now and then torchlight sort of passing through the trees in all directions. Just sometimes quite far away, sometimes quite close. But there's definitely other people in the forest, and you can only assume that they're angels as well. So the danger here is that you might run into trouble if you spend too long looking for this place. I'm going to ask you to make a second investigation check.
Okay. 16. Take away 1. 15.
Make a stealth check as well.
Boy.
God, this is intense, isn't it?
So many stealth checks. I roll 11, take away 1, a 10. Ooh.
Okay. You start to see the torchlight less frequently and a bit further away. And you sort of find yourself moving now among trees that the shrubbery around them is more trampled down, so you think that people travel this way a little bit more often. And you see some walls in front of you, like a fair way away still. But it looks like a palisade wall.
Is it a castle wall or?
Looks like a palisade wall.
It's a palisade wall.
Like a wooden.
Okay.
Age of Empires.
Yeah.
And you can see that there are a couple of torches sort of lining along it and things like that, and you can actually see shadows passing along them and things. So there are people on the walls and things. It's approaching sunrise by the time you get there. So there's a little bit of sort of dawn light coming over the horizon, and this is, you can only assume, the Black Camp.
Okay.
Or something, it's a settlement of some kind.
Yeah. Is there anything else I can gather? Can I get anything out? Like, is there
What
banners or anything? Is there any
because
affiliation?
Because of the dark and the
But I can
distance,
see in the dark.
you can, but because of the dark and the distance,
Oh, I thought it was quite close.
you can't really
Okay.
make it out.
Okay. Can I'd like to sneak around the camp to try and figure out more, because I don't want to just rush in.
How close would you like to get?
How far am I right now in feet?
I would say about 150.
150. I'd like to get to about 75.
Okay, so about half the distance. Okay.
Yeah.
So you sort of creep in further. Just you want to get a gauge on it before you approach it. Go ahead and make another stealth check.
So, a critical failure. I won.
One. Yeah.
It's just some guy sneaking around just really poorly as he comes up to the gate. What are you doing?
You sort of come up a bit closer to the wall, and you're sort of trying to sneak along. And as you do, you hear something, and it's not a noise that you made, but you hear something, and you look up and realise that in the trees there are platforms, and there are also people there who are sort of lookouts and things like that. And one of them's just leaning over the rail, kind of looking at you. Is like sort of just kind of perplexed, just like wondering what this guy's doing. He's trying to sneak around, and he's just like, "You all right?"
I gather I get a fright
Yeah.
because I did not see him. So I go, oh, look up at him.
Can I help you?
I stand straight up. I've been spotted, so and then I speak to the man and say, "Well, can I do a perception check? What's his race? What's his affiliation? Can I see his race?"
He's up in the tree. I mean, yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check.
15, and then perception is what? Sorry, wisdom. So no modifiers. So just
He's not.
15.
He's not of you don't see any distinguishing features. So he's not of one of the races that has like very distinguishing features. So he could be Marin, it could be Kondar, it could be Angel, it could be Thenekrian, it could be.
Okay, just human. Okay. I say.
And he's sort of just like looking at you. He's like.
So I ask him. I say, "Is this the Black Camp?"
I don't know. Never heard of it by that name. This is Ebonhearth.
Hold on, let me write that down. Am I out of the woods now, or am I still in the woods?
Still, I mean, this is sort of in a. You look over to the wall and you can see that it's been built in the woods, but it's in a sort of clearing, if you like.
Okay.
It's obviously been deforested to build this place, so it's like.
Okay.
Where is it you've come from, traveller?
I say that's my business.
All right. Well, if you're wanting in, you're gonna need to go up to the gate there. I just look out for, dangerous types.
Who's dangerous types to you?
Well, you get the odd sort of marauder band comes through every now and then. Not for years now, but it happens. And then every now and then there's wilderfolk who come through. They keep to themselves though, mostly. That's it, really.
I'm imagining, this conversation like an Oblivion conversation where someone says something, you just don't respond and just look at them stoically and then go to a different topic. I ask him, have you not heard the news of danger in the woods?
Oh, aye, there's always danger in the woods.
Great.
Some specific you're referring to, or
do you know
witches maybe?
Do you know anything about angel raids?
Oh, aye, angel raid. Well, there's that. They've not come this way yet, but some of the other settlements I've heard word of. There's been trouble of sorts.
Okay.
None of that round here, though.
What were the witches called? Actually, I didn't make a note of that. Sorry.
Just the Witches of the Woods, mate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what
So
I
you've heard.
referred.
And what of these witches you mentioned?
Oh, aye, ladies of the wood, witches. Mm-hmm. Heard they've been a bit nasty of late. Again, don't come round here much. Or at all, for what I can remember.
Do you think there's anyone in town who would... Is it a town? Is it a cat, like a keep?
You don't know yet.
I don't know that. What is this place? Have I asked this already?
Told you, it's Ebonhearth.
Okay, yeah, I've asked this question. Repeat, it's the grey option on the conversation wheel. Okay, I say thank you. I go to walk to the
Aye,
Ebonhearth.
gate guard will let you in.
Cool. So I go forward.
So you take a walk up to Ebonhearth, and as you sort of come out of the trees and they become more sparse, you can see more clearly what you're looking at. And it does indeed have black wood walls. They're stark black. Like, you thought maybe it was just because it was dark that you were seeing them as a black outline, but as you get closer, you see that they've actually been painted black, and so this is probably the Black Camp that they were referring to, because that's its most distinguishing feature. There's a sort of smell of wood smoke and an oddly familiar sugary scent on the air as well that you can't quite place, but you feel like you've smelled it before. And it's a small town, just a small settlement, and there's evidence of ongoing building work. It's obviously expanding, so more people are coming here and building, and you can see the sort of structures of like skeletal built areas and stuff like that out of timber. Everything's built of wood. Doesn't seem to be much stone construction or anything like that. And as you come up to the gate, there's a gate guard standing there with a sort of spear on his shoulder, and as you walk up to him, he just sort of gives you a friendly nod. Doesn't get in your way to stop you or anything like that. Just gives you a friendly nod.
Okay. Can I see what race he is at this point? Oh, is it still... Because the other guy was in the tree, so I don't know if it was tougher to tell.
Yeah, you can... This guy, again, doesn't look to have any really distinguishing features. you guess he's probably a Marin or a Condor.
Marin or Condor. Well, there's a big difference there, isn't there? Oh, which was the big war that happened? It was Condor, Angels, and who?
What are you asking about?
The war that happened a while ago. Who's the three main parties? Because you said it was like an alliance of three, right?
Oh, who were the members of the alliance? Yeah. So you had the Condor, the Marins, the Angels, and some Gwyrtov.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. I guess I go in.
Yep. So the gate is it's a palisade gate as well. It's open, and there are already a few people milling about. It's quite early still, but there are still people about. And as you take a look around and get a gauge of the place, it seems like there are people of almost all races here. And they seem like content, pleasant folk. You know, no one's sort of taking any particular notice of you or anything like that. People come through here fairly regularly, it seems. The gate guard that you passed was in just sort of simple chain armor and loosely gripping that spear. So there was no like particular military presence or anything like that about him. He wasn't like a soldier in like uniformed armor or anything like that. People are just sort of going about their business, going from building to building. No one really seems to be paying that much attention to you.
Okay.
Although people are just giving you a nod and things as they pass.
What kind of buildings are there?
Mostly wooden. Again, there's not much stone or anything like that.
I mean, more is there like shops? Is there bars? Is there?
I mean, it's early, so you can't really tell in terms of which are shops and which are like houses and stuff like that. They're all kind of dark on the inside mostly. There are a few shop fronts and things that are all sort of in one kind of corner of the inside of the walls. Where maybe there's a market during the day and that sort of thing. There is what looks to be a substantially bigger building than the rest, which looks like it might be an inn or something like that. And it does have a sign hanging outside, which you can't quite make out what it says from here because it's black against black and dark and relatively dark sort of area. If you want to, you can go up to it and have a closer look.
Sure. Let's have a look
Yeah,
at
so
this. Look at this important building.
Have a look at the inn, and it is indeed an inn. When you get up to the, you can see that there's a black sign hanging from it, and underneath it says the Black Kettle.
Cool.
And you can hear from inside that there are people inside.
Okay, I enter the Black Kettle.
Okay, so you've entered the Black Kettle, and it's not terribly busy. There are people here enjoying breakfasts and that sort of thing, and you can see there are barmaids and things bringing drinks to people and bringing food to people in it. And there's a big hearth right in the middle of the place. It's quite a big place on the inside, and there are tables all along the back wall and sort of that are like booths. And then there's tables that are also on this side. There are booths as well, just as you come in the door. But there are bigger sort of tables in the middle as well, where there are people sitting. And normally it might be livelier, but at this time of the day it's fairly quiet, and there's just a few people sort of eating and talking amongst themselves and things like that.
Okay.
At the far end, there's a bar where there's a couple of barmaids sort of seem to be coming from that area, and there's a person behind the bar.
Okay. Can I do any perception checks? Is there any notable figures in this bar, or any sort of, I don't know.
What are you looking for? Tell me what you're looking for now.
Where is my adventure going, I suppose? Is there anyone I should be worried angelic-wise?
You're looking for angels.
I'm looking for angels, I'm looking for anything affiliated with that sort of.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Hey. 3. I am clearly punched myself in the eyes and cannot see.
Don't know. It's an inn.
It's an inn. Okay. Okay. You're always good to the barman. I go up to the bar.
Okay.
That was so good.
Timing.
You get up to the bar, and as you get closer, you can see that there's this quite burly woman who's standing behind the
Does
the
burly
bar.
mean
Rotund.
okay? I thought it was like whimsical.
Oh no.
Woo!
No, burly, stocky,
Okay.
muscular. In fact, woman. She appears to be a Condor, and she's got a mess of like red hair, and she's sort of wearing the classic apron and tunic and what have you, and is just wiping down the bar and just sort of. What the fuck's that? There we go. Ugh, don't know what that was. Hello! What can I get you?
We don't have a lot of money. Can I pause the game at this point? Sorry. I'm kind of confused as to what my goal is. Now, I like going in games or going into town and just speaking to folk and then finding a side quest.
All you've been told is it's not safe in the woods, you should probably go to the Black Town
Okay.
and speak to the Dark Lord.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Dark Lord. Should have asked that outside. Does the Dark Lord reside here? No. I'm awkwardly at the bar. I'm gonna have to buy something. I'm gonna spend some money now. How much does a thing like tea would exist in this world, would it not? Would this be a place that does tea?
Aye, we do tea. Aye.
Oh, sorry, this is not my Soros post. Is this a place you do tea?
Well, who are you asking, Tom, or are you asking the...
I'm asking Tom Morris like a gent that's like, is tea something?
You should ask the innkeeper.
Okay. Does tea exist in this world? That seems like my question.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Great. Do you serve tea?
Tea, yes, uh-huh.
I'll take tea.
Tea. Coming up. Liesel. Tea. Mm-hmm. I know. But still, tea. You know how to do tea, go. Anything else?
No, that'll be all.
Okay.
What's the word around town?
What's the word around town?
The word around town.
Well, let's see, we've got the market today. Usually quite busy. That's about it. Sleepy little town, this.
Very much so.
Early, like. You know, there's usually more people about.
Is it lively in the evenings?
Oh, fuck aye. Only in the town, you see. So.
I see, you must get a lot of business.
Well, aye, what comes through?
Many travellers?
Oh, well, mostly travellers. I mean, we're on the Grey Road between Omiridarr and Gilgreen. So anyone travelling one way or the other comes by here at some point.
What was it? Miradar? This is our character.
Omiridarr.
Omiridarr. And
Gilgreen.
Gilgreen. What kind of people?
Traders mostly, get the odd priest or what have you coming from Gilgreen or Omiridarr or digging trees, that sort of thing. Anyone who needs to travel from one of the great cities to another tends to come by here. It's the only real logical place to stop on the way.
Any rumours from the road? From these travellers?
No.
None?
Not that I can see why I should share with you.
Ooh. I was about to DM myself there and be like, I roll for like a charisma check. He was like, well, I've just come from the road and, I've just walked past a raid.
Right.
Very dangerous. What's, you've heard nothing about these raids?
Raids, aye. Raids in the woods. What about it?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get a lay of the land here, hoping you could help.
Not from around here then, eh?
No.
No. Where are you from?
Is Old Fenecria very far from where we are at the moment, Ian?
Old Fennecar, yeah.
Fennecar. Is that very far away from where? Yes, very far. Very.
Look to be Fennecrian to me, though.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Well, should find welcome here. Plenty of you around.
Oh, yes?
Oh, aye. Lord Fennecrian. So's the lady.
Is this the Dark Lord? As I've been told to seek.
The Dark Lord. Fucking hell, I've never heard him called the Dark Lord before. He'd like that, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe not. Lars would like that, though. He'd find that funny.
Who's Lars?
Oh, he's the Chamberlain. Yeah, he's the Chamberlain.
It's Chamberlain.
Like the steward.
I was going to say steward. Okay. The politics man in the town.
Yeah.
What did you say his name was?
Lars.
Lars.
Yeah, snickety little man. But well, I wouldn't say snickety, but something about him that just rubs me up the wrong way sometimes. But that's just because I'm more of your sort of straight talking kind of girl, and he's, well, the opposite. Bernice, you know.
A Fennecrian as well?
No, Bernice.
Oh, he's a Bernice, right? Bernice. Cool.
One of them types.
You wouldn't be wrong there. And what do they call...
Oh, here's your tea. Thanks, Lisa. Here. Tea. That's 10 coppers then.
I've got 5 gold, so what's...
So 10 coppers. Mark 10 coppers is...
Do I have a sheet here for money?
So
Bottom right's treasure.
5 silver is 1 gold. 10 coppers is 1 silver. So
Just how much have I got left?
So you got... What did you have?
I had 5 gold.
So you got 4 gold and 4 silvers. Did you want milk or anything?
If you've got it, I'll take it.
Oh, we got it. Alright, Liz, go on. Go on, girl, get some fucking milk.
Get some.
Yeah, get some milk from me now. I don't say that. That's me, Daniel Robertson, out of character. So what's this Dark Lord's name?
The Dark Lord. So, I mean, we just call him a lord around here.
Okay.
That's okay. Don't know why a Dark Lord. Is it him you're looking to speak to? Is that what you're saying? Or?
I think so, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, you'd need to speak to the Chamberlain first. He'd be the one to arrange that. I can have him come round and speak to you. The Lord is Lord Astaroth. And the Chamberlain Lars would be able to set up an audience with you if you want.
I think I'd like that.
Sure. Okay. I'll. Why don't you have a seat? Take your tea, and I'll send someone off to get him.
Okay.
He should be up at this time, I think.
I'll pick up my tea with a pinky.
Mm-hmm.
and
there are plenty of tables to choose from.
And I sit at a table by myself.
Go and sit down at a table. Any particular one you want to say?
Is there anyone I can speak to? I mean, I can speak to anyone really, but like. My character's a hermit, so he wouldn't go up and immediately speak to people. So I sit by myself in a corner.
Okay. So you take maybe one of the booths and sit, at the corner so that you can see the door as well, so you get a good view of the place. And take your tea over. And Lisa, the girl who was served, also she brings over some milk in a little jug for you. And
I nod for thank you.
You see the innkeep call someone else over and say a few words to them, and they go off out the door and go away for a bit. You sit and you wait for a while, and you see a few people come into the inn and go and get something to eat and sit down and things like that. But it just seems like people's normal sort of days, that this is where people come for their breakfast and whatever, that sort of thing. A few people coming down, no one that really catches your eye. They're all, again, mixed races and that sort of thing. So you're just sort of people watching a little bit and keeping an eye out for anyone who you think might be looking for you. It's a little while before the door opens and 2 figures who straight away stand out come in, and you see a very handsome and well kept Bernese man. He wears sort of silver and sea green doublet and sort of simple but elegant clothes. And everything he wears is sort of sea green and silver coloured. He sort of seems to have that kind of motif to him. There is not a hair out of place on his head or a single crease in any of his clothes or anything like that. He looks immaculate, and he wears an easy smile on his dark blue. He wears an easy smile, and he has these very sort of dark blue eyes that seem to always be scanning the room, and just not like shifty, but just always seem to be aware of their surroundings and things. And he carries himself very sort of confidently. But he's not alone. He's also with a Yolith man who is unlike any. You've only seen a few Yolith in your time. They're not very common, but he's unlike most that you've seen in that he's usually they're quite upright and hold themselves, with poise and dignity. He's very much hunched over and has sort of long, elongated arms and legs and spindly fingers and kind of scraggly white hair and these long robes. He looks a bit like a big pale white spider. He's kind of...
These guys, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And he's just obscenely old as well, a very, very old man. But something just really slimy about him, which is odd for Yolith. They tend to be quite dignified and quite like regal people, but he's like very much sort of hunched and like just looks shifty. And they exchange a few words at the door before Lars sort of comes back over to you, and this Yolith character leaves the inn again. Lars goes over to the who you assume is Lars, given that he's a Bernese, goes over to the innkeep, and she sort of said a few words to him, points over to the table that you're at, and he looks around, sees you and wanders over, and he comes over to you. Yet another humble visitor to our little town. Lucky us. And he says, "May I sit?"
A motion.
So,
Where's the other guy sitting? What's he doing? Is he just standing?
he's gone.
Oh, he didn't say.
He left.
Alright, cool. So he's just with him. Okay. Cool. Let's keep going.
So, what brings you to Ebonhearth?
I'm avoiding danger.
Avoiding danger. Yes. Aren't we all? Well, we're very happy to help you do that. It's not a problem. We're just simple people, simple folk. Most of us, anyway. Myself, I like to think I'm a little bit more interesting. I am what the people around here call the Chamberlain. So I deal with the dignitaries and characters like that who come to trade in the town, and anyone who wants to speak to the lord or the lady or anything like that would have to go through me. I must tell you at this point, an audience with the Lord Astaroth is quite impossible. For one thing, I have no notion of who you are, and for another, which is more important, because I doubt he would care very much, he is not here. However, the lady is.
Where is Lord Astaroth?
That is not really any of your business. But needless to say, he's not here.
Okay.
He's on lord duties.
Well, I'm looking for work.
Well, work is something that we can probably do. What is your area of work? Soldier, labourer, farmer?
I've done a lot of jobs in my time. Many, in fact.
But never stayed at one.
No.
That's interesting.
I move often.
And why move here.
I'm not. I've yet to decide if I want to move here.
Well, I don't really know why you need me.
You're right. That was out of character. That was me. I'm trying to think of where I'm trying to get with this because.
From my understanding, having spoken to Mags, I understand you spoke to Mags as well. She said you were looking for, as she put it, the Dark Lord, which I thought was comical. The Dark Lord. I'm going to have to tell him that when he comes back. But he's not here. The lady is. If you would like to speak to her, then I could possibly arrange that. But you are going to have to give me something.
Alright, let's go with this. I've got information on angelic activities in the forest. Is that something the lady would be interested in hearing?
Angelic activities within the forest, you say? Now that is considerably more interesting than anything I thought you were going to say. And he seems to take more of an interest now and leans forward a little bit in his seat. Well, have you come into contact with angels yourself? Yes.
Yes.
I imagine, given your, that they wouldn't have been particularly friendly towards you.
Well, angels.
Oh yes, I know angels, yeah. So I'm going to say no, they weren't very friendly towards you?
No, they weren't.
Okay, well, so I think then the lady might be interested in hearing about this. You say you have information. What are we talking about? About their movements, their plans, their what?
They are searching for something in the woods. I feel like they're hunting Stoneborn for some reason, and they're taking their children.
Hunting Stoneborn and taking their children. That I have not heard before. That seems very uncharacteristic of them. Okay, tell you what we're going to do. I am going to speak to the lady. No, I am going to take you to the lady. And you can tell her this yourself. That is probably the most interesting way to do things. And then she will decide whether your information is worth anything or whether you're just here to be here and waste everyone's time. So, would you care to come with me? I'll just take you straight away. I know she is up.
Let's go.
Okay, great. Follow me, and he gets up, straightens his coat, makes sure his hair is as it should be, and waves to Mags, the innkeep, who goes like that, and then he laughs and leads you out the door.
Oh hey pal, welcome back to the second episode of Aderna. Thanks for sticking out through the first episode. It gets way better from here. You have no idea how much looking up of the rules I had to cut out. Just wanted to give you guys an update. Since last time, we have now recorded the follow-up volume with a big cast of characters, including who you've heard so far. That's Tom, our DM, Iain, our flatmate, and myself. I'm happy to announce that there will be 3 more adventurers joining us. These include Lewis McLagan, Aaron Fulton, and Eric Van Berlicom. I'll leave the details of their character to the episode, but trust me, they're all great. I'd like to apologise about the audio levels as well last week, guys. It was a bit quiet, so I've changed up this time. I've put it up a wee bit, although now I'm fairly certain it's too loud. You can let me know, I guess, if you follow me on Twitter. My handle is dr_dan_MD. That's Dr. Dan MD. That's right, a real medical doctor. As in, I have first aid training, so please don't send me your medical queries. I cannot answer them. If you're liking what we're doing so far, we'd really love to hear from you. And if you could give the podcast a wee share and tell your friends to listen, every play counts, and it'd be great to know that it's not just us listening back to these to see how terrible we did. Thanks again, guys, and enjoy the rest of the show.
He actually takes you you expect to be led into another one of the buildings in the village, in the town, but he takes you outside of the same gate that you came in, and then walks around the perimeter of the wall a little while. And as you sort of come round a bend in the trees, you see something that you feel like you probably should have noticed earlier on, which is overlooking the town. It's a tower, a black glass-like tower that's got these sort of spines and spikes and hooks and everything that are all sort of protruding out of it. And as you come closer to it, you realise that it's in fact a godstone tower. And you've seen godstone structures before. You've seen, a few of them anyway. And this one, like all the others, seems like it's all created out of one piece of stone, or it looks like it might even have grown out of the ground as one complete item. It has no cuts in it, no sort of bricks or anything like that are putting it together. It's just one smooth, sort of solid piece. And this one is like an onyx black, like a deep black colour. And it's on top of this sort of rocky knoll that's overlooking the town.
Okay, as a Thanekrian Crypt Keeper, is this something I notice as like having some religious significance, or from my own knowledge? Do I know what this is?
Roll a religion check.
Do I get a modifier because I do have religion as something I'm proficient in? So that is intelligence, which is actually
Proficiency.
+2 is it?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So then I add 2 to whatever this is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I roll a 20 anyway, so it's a 22.
Natural 20.
What this is.
Nice.
Natural 20, okay. So, you know about godstone structures.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few of them dotted around the known world, but they predate any record of history. They're called godstone because no one's really sure how they came into being, because as mortals you have no way of shaping godstone. You don't know how to cut it, you don't know how to shape it, you don't know how to crack it or anything like that. So it can you're only, the assumption is that it was created by the gods for some unknown purpose to them.
Okay, and there's nothing practically we as mortals have any use of them. They're just nice to look at.
You tend to find that settlements spring up around them.
Okay.
The great cities all have sort of larger godstone structures and things like that.
Okay.
That they had. Old Thanakkar didn't have one, but it did and it didn't. The vaults inside the mountain, a lot of those passageways and things were godstone.
Right. Okay, so it can create structures in a way. Is that correct?
It what?
It can create structures. Is that what you're saying?
They are structures.
Oh, so it's it makes a building almost. Is that what you're saying? With this godstone specifically, can you enter it?
Yeah.
Right.
It's a building.
Right. That's fine.
It's a tower.
Okay. It was just because I wasn't sure if it was just like a tower in size or you could actually enter it.
No, it is a tower. It's got an interior. Yeah.
Okay.
And he leads you up to it, and there's a little path that goes up the knoll to the tower, and there's a big sort of heavy wooden gate that leads you into a double door.
Is it like a rook, or is it how big is it actually?
It is like a rook.
Okay.
Yeah. And as he opens the door, he gestures for you to come in. He says, "This is the rook." That's what it's called.
Oh. Well.
And
I say in character, I had a funny feeling it was going to be called that.
And he said, and he sort of gestures for you to go inside. And as you step inside, it's a lot colder in here than you expected it to be. It's a lot like stepping into a cellar on a hot day. It's just got that kind of chill about it in the air, which is weird because there's a warm red light that pervades the room, and you've entered into this big vast hallway, and you can see that there are 4 braziers of fire, sort of about halfway down this hallway, and torches all along the way. So it's got this reddish warm glow about it, but it's chilly, and it's a really strange sort of juxtaposition.
Okay, sorry to break up. Is she in this room?
Who?
The lady.
Do you want to make a perception check, or do you want to just?
It's more in the sense of, do I have enough time to ask Lars? Do I need to know anything about her?
I will finish my description.
Okay.
The far end of the hall, you can see there's a raised dais with what appears to be a throne, also made out of this same black stone, and it's sort of shaped like two hands like this, very vaguely, like they're more kind of sort of spikes than fingers, and two thumbs that curl out at the front like this, and then there's the seat here with furs and cushions and all that sort of thing on them. But there's no one sitting at the throne. There's no other furniture in the room at all, and there is no one else in the place at all. And as your gaze sort of moves upwards, following these upstretching fingers of the throne, you notice that the ceiling isn't visible. It just stretches up into darkness, which is surely impossible given the shape of the tower outside. But you're looking at it, and Lars is also having a look around, and he just sort of looks to you and says, "You don't have to say it, we all know it's creepy." This way, please. And he gestures off to your right, and you can see that there's a spiral staircase that sort of moves up out of sight in that direction. Okay. And he gestures for you to go first. Okay.
I go forward, and is this the time where I can kind of ask that question I was going to say?
If you want to ask a question, just
I
ask
say,
a question.
Is there anything I need to know about the lady?
I would say, well, we'll walk and talk. And he leads you up and he's just sort of gently got his hand on your back as well. He's not in any forceful way or whatever, but he's just that kind of guy. He's just walking along with you. I would say there are many things to know about the lady, but I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise. And as a final piece of advice from me to you, I would say, don't lie. But if you must lie, lie well. And he just sort of continues to walk up in silence with you until you get to a door at the very, very top of the tower. You pass a few other doors on the way up. And as you get to that door, he steps in front of you and sort of between you and the door and puts his hand on it. Are you ready?
I nod.
And he smiles and winks at you. Good luck. And opens the door. Opens it.
Good timing.
Rising music, yeah.
And as you step inside, roll initiative. No, I'm kidding.
Shit.
Oh my god!
That was really cool.
Okay. You good?
Yes. I enter the room.
You enter the room. And this room stands in stark contrast to the rest of the tower that you've seen so far. It's bright and warm and lavishly decorated with exquisite furniture and adornments. It's also fairly cluttered. There are stacks of books in jumbled piles on almost every surface, and there are all manner of strange instruments of unknown purpose kind of scattered around the place.
Can I make a perception check on what those are?
Just a sec.
Sorry.
The room that you've entered is round as you'd expected, and as it curves around to the left, there's a partition with a sliding door, and it's just slightly ajar. If you want to make a perception check at this point, you can.
I would like to.
What are you looking for?
People, any sort of significant items, be it, shall we say, weapons or anything of anything I'd maybe recognise from old Thanakar, like any sort of like symbols.
Okay, go ahead.
6. Do I have any modifiers for that?
Perception. So it's wisdom.
Which I don't. So 6. I see nothing.
You don't really see. I mean, it's quite a cluttered room. There are papers everywhere. There are fine silks and furs and things like that, and nice furniture. And you've been away from society for, a good 30 years. You haven't really. If there are new styles and things that are associated with different races and whatever, you wouldn't know about it. And so it all looks just alien to you almost. And you haven't seen anything like this for a very long time. But you do, the door is slightly ajar. It doesn't take you much to notice that there's a sort of softer light coming through from there. And you hear a voice as the door closes behind you, coming from that partition. And it's a female voice, and she just says, "In here."
Okay, so I walk over to here.
Okay. You walk over to the sliding door and open it slightly, and you find yourself in a large and well-appointed bathroom. And at the centre of it sits a large brass roll-top bath with clawed feet. It's a big sort of ostentatious bath. And lying there in the water with her eyes closed and her head tilted back towards the ceiling is a young Thinicrian woman, beautiful and quite naked.
Ooh. She's getting the vapors.
She soaks there a moment longer, not saying anything, and finally opens one eye to look at you. "Oh, you're old." And she sits up. "Would you pass me that towel on the rack?" She gestures just behind you, and there's a towel hanging on the rack.
I grab it and hand it over to her.
"Thank you." And she takes it from you and dabs her face with it lightly, and then throws it to the side and stands up.
She's been eating? Can I make a perception check if she's been eating?
If you want.
No, I just mean why would you just dab her face?
Do you want to make a perception check, or do you want to just?
I mean, sure. I guess I'm kind of very curious now why someone would just dab their face after coming out of my bath. So, 20. Natural 20. So.
You've no idea.
Waste of a natural 20.
She's wet. She's been in the bath, so she dabbed her face with a towel and threw it away.
Well, did she get up or was it just her face?
And she stands up, and she's still wet, and she steps out of the bath. And as she does step out of the bath, all of the water that was on her, all in her hair and all over her body, just runs down and back into the bath. Straight down her leg and into the bath again, and none of it is on her when she walks out of the bath again. She didn't need the towel at all. She just wanted to see if you'd bring it to her. And
okay, that's more interesting.
so she stands there, and she's still completely naked, but she just quickly gestures over her body, and cloth fabric seems to form and wrap itself around her body, and just sort of form itself into a very simple but elegant dress.
Sorry, I felt like a free action of just shouting, "A shape changer!"
Black magic!
Black magic shape changer!
We love you, Lewis.
Can I say a free action to be like a question, sort of a... No, I don't know what would the term mage be something that's in your world?
Yep.
If I just went a mage? Question mark.
She raises an eyebrow and says, "Was it that obvious?" She just moves straight past you, walks past you, and into the room that you came out of first. And as you stand there, just calls back, "Well, shall we?" And
I follow her through.
you follow through. And
I follow through.
she turns back around to the sliding door and shuts it. And then takes out from seemingly nowhere, just conjures this contraption which has all of these sort of interlocking parts that seem to click out and bend out, and go back in and things. It's a sort of strange looking object. You've not really seen anything like this before. And she fiddles around with it a little bit, and then presses it into the sliding door a little bit like a key, and turns it and takes it back again, and then opens the sliding door again. And instead of a bathroom, there's now a lavish bedroom with a big 4-poster bed and sort of silks and things like that. And as well as the bed, which is the main feature of the room, there's also a small table and 2 chairs. And she tucks the thing away and goes and walks over towards one of the the table and sits at one of the chairs. And between the and sitting on the table, you can see there's a crystal what do you call it?
Decanter?
Carafe. Yeah, basically a decanter. And 2 wine glasses as well. And she just sits there and waits for you.
Can I do a perception check on what the wine is? If it's wine or if it's like
Sure.
cool, or like whatever the contents is. 4.
It's blue.
It's blue. Ooh. Okay. Has she sort of like suggested I take a seat or anything like that?
Seems to be. She's just sitting, looking at you stand there awkwardly.
Okay, I take a seat.
She's very comfortable and sort of like is quite confident clearly, and is just sort of sitting there kind of watching you. She just sits and watches you for a while, with one eyebrow raised. And then she sighs, and she leans forward and pours herself a glass of wine, and puts the decanter back,
Okay.
and takes the glass, takes a drink.
Okay. I ask, good year?
Fair bit. So, my old and slightly unkempt friend, what can I do for you?
I come to Ebonhearth. Memory, I don't know that. I've come to Ebonhearth as I have potentially have information you may need.
Wonderful, well, I'm just waiting to hear it.
What's your stance on angels?
Cats.
I share this opinion. And what do you know of their recent activities in the area?
Witch hunts, as they call them. Little more than an excuse, of course, to flex their muscles and show their power and keep people down, but everyone knows that.
And have they been seeking anything out of these hunts?
And here I was thinking it was you who had the information.
I'm angling that. I just want to gauge what you know already. Well, not 24 hours ago, I helped defend a band of stone?
Wilderfolk.
Wilderfolk? From a garrison of angels.
How very noble of you.
They, the chief told me they have been abducting children.
That I had not heard.
Is that all the information I have? Question mark. This is my question. So, we're at war. Chief said that they'd taken...
All I pretty much told you was that the witches in the woods were growing aggressive. You should stay out of the woods. They were stealing the tribe's children, and whenever I sent hunters to retrieve them, they just immediately attacked, and all they done was attack and fight. And recently there's been a lot of bright ones attacking our caravans on sight and just attacking anyone who comes on. Seems to have just kind of declared war on the forest.
The angels aren't stealing anyone's children.
Okay.
I'm sorry? Yeah.
I have misheard that information, or misremembered. I will endeavour to write down more. Well, I look like an idiot at this meeting. As I suddenly have a flash memory of like
your face just goes from.
Oh, okay. Back out the room. I'm clearly winning the short time.
Do you know what the good thing is?
What?
It's just a game, so you can just fucking
Yeah.
fire past that.
You know what? That got you in here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
I guess now I see why you were like, and if you're bluffing, which I guess had I kept going with this, maybe I would have got like a plus modifier because it'd have been like
Because you genuinely believed it.
genuinely believed it. Well, okay. So I've told that there's a war going on. They've been abducting children.
Tell you what, it's time for me to start asking you some questions, because I think that's where the most interesting stuff is going to be. This chief that you so valiantly rescued from the angels told you to come here?
He said this was a safe place for my kind.
Your kind meaning what?
The Neckery.
Well, that much is true. We've no love of the angels here. Or rather, we've as much love for anyone else, but as them, we've as much love for them as anyone else, but we're just brave enough to show it. So why send you here? Did he know that there were Thenecreans here?
He said there was a dark lord here.
Probably meaning Lord Astaroth.
Correct.
And so you came here hoping to speak to him?
Yes.
To seek asylum?
I don't stay in too many places for too long,
That's fine.
but it was unsafe where I was at that time, so I couldn't be for work or.
I can believe it if the angels were after you. Well, I will bear that in mind. I might find a use for you. Someone might, at least. Tell me, can you swing an axe?
I have
Plow a field?
I've done all those jobs. I've been mercenary, farmer.
A mercenary? Tell me about that.
I was going to go crypt keeper.
I don't care. Tell me about mercenary.
Mercenary work.
Which company did you work for?
Now I'm bluffing. Oh, no companies, just saving farms from raiders, etc.
Oh, I see. Wanderers work, independent work.
Yes.
I was with the South Spears myself.
Oh.
Yeah. And Rickard.
I'm too sorry.
Rickard, the Lord.
How long have you been together?
Oh, I think you might have the wrong impression. Rickard is not my husband. He's my brother. We are Lord and Lady Astaroth. He's the Lord. I'm just his sister, albeit slightly older.
Apologies.
No problem. Now, speaking of slightly older, I couldn't help but notice you're, what, 60, 70? Thereabouts? So you must have been there at the time it all went down.
He makes a loud swallow to indicate that it's an unpleasant memory.
Fascinating.
And he looks away.
Well, tell me about that.
I'd rather not.
I'm still asking.
And I'm not telling.
Tragedy, really. It would have been useful to know from someone who was there. I was born after. So much was lost.
I feel like I'm short-tempered, so that's a flaw of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it could be a good point to be. She's kind of poking in a bad memory, so I feel like I should be like.
I know that you're just talking through this, But don't feel like you need to justify this stuff to me before you do it. Just
No, I know. I'm just, I'm more voicing my own approach, because I don't want to feel like I'm doing too much of Danny and not enough of Soros. You know what I mean? So, slam my fist on the table and say, too much. And leave it there.
On that we agree, although I suspect you had a more personal loss than I did. I'm referring, of course, to the lost arts, magics, secrets, that sort of thing. An interest of mine, a hobby, if you will. Just collecting what I can of what was lost. I merely meant to get some first-hand information, but I shan't prod anymore. Well, how about this? From what I can gather, you've been more or less honest with me. So I invite you to stay in Ebonhearth as long as you like. Or as little time as you like. I know you don't stay very long, but at least you might stay long enough for Rickard to get here. I imagine he and you will get along quite well. People seem to like him for whatever reason.
And where is he at this moment in time?
Away. But he'll be back soon. So, Max will have a room for you in the inn, if you like. And as soon as I find some work for you, I'll send for you again and take it from there. How about that?
A nod.
Good. Well then, off you trot. And she pours herself more water.
Yeah. Back away. And leave the room.
Oh! And she calls to you just before you leave the door.
Turn head over shoulder.
Send Lars in, if you could. And
Nod.
as you leave out the door, you can see that Lars is still standing in the stairway as where he was before, just sort of grinning at you. Well, how did that go?
I feel I am no further nor wiser.
Oh, she's something, isn't she? Yeah.
Something.
Something, yes. Did she want to see me at all?
No.
No, she didn't want to see you. No, she didn't want to see you.
Oh, good. Well, at least I can get some rest then. And he follows you back down. And,
Oh shit, you done it.
Yeah. Well, that charisma's quite high, I think, later on. If he's like, why did you send him upstairs? I'd be like, oh, I did.
Music by David Devereaux.